Hello there, very good Monday evening to all of you viewers. This is Primetime News. We're coming to you live and direct this evening from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. Bringing in the news tonight, I'm Joel Outskun. We start off today with a look at the headlines.
3 dead in Mahawara bus accident, 19 injured, driver of the bus arrested. Police inspector arrested in suspicion of the disappearance of 2 businessmen. Anurakumara Disanayaka says that political positions are a license to steal. Petition filed at the Supreme Court demanding provincial polls. Saudi Crown Prince visits Pakistan. MOU signed for $20 billion investments.
We start off tonight's news with a look at some sports news. Now, a conversation that took place between the Sri Lankan cricketers inside the dressing room after the first test between South Africa has been circulated on social media platforms. Now, Minister of Sports Harin Fernando spoke about this at a press conference held today.
I witnessed the Sri Lankan cricket team succeed with much patience amid so much pressure. As a sportsman, I am well aware as to how sportsmen and women react following a victory. We tend to express our emotions. You must understand that these discussions took place in the dressing room, not in front of media. We are aware as to who videoed those discussions and to whom they were sent to. For the love of the sport and as a policy, I will not continue to comment on this matter and will not humiliate myself either. I make a special request to everyone, particularly the media. When sportsmen and women express their strong emotions, highlighting them as a major national issue and in turn downgrading the morale of the victory disappoints me. I repeat that I am not the Minister of Cricket, I am the Minister of Sports. However, I decide to express my views regarding cricket as this matter is being discussed across the island.
Well, now, leader of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Anurakumara Disanayaka, expressed these views at the Balamandala meeting of the Homagam electorate last evening.
Ranil
Wickremesinghe is afraid of Ravi Karunayanaka. The bond issue started and ended with Ranil Wickremesinghe. He used his premiership to commit the bond scam. It was a license. Basil Rajapaksa always says that the house on the 17-acre property in Malvana wasn't his, but the architect who built it says that Basil Rajapaksa gave him 100 million rupees to build it. So people like Basil Rajapaksa use their ministries to make money. Ravi Karunayanaka, Lakshman Kiriyalla, Kabir Hashim were also involved. Deny if you want and we will show proof. Even the MPs and the Pradesh Sabha chairman are the same. Even the mayors are the same. So what is this politics? It is a license for theft.
ප්‍රාදේශ සභාවේ සභාපතිත් එහෙමයි. නගර සභාවේ නගරාධිපතිත් එහෙමයි. ඒ නිසා මේ දේශපාලන කියලා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? හොරකමට ලයිසන් එකක්.
MP Vasudeva Nanakara also expressed his views regarding the bond scam during a press briefing convened by the Socialist People's Front in Colombo today.
Madhush
has been accused of murder, theft and drug trafficking. However, above all of these is the theft of billions of public funds. The main witness stated in court today that the perpetrators must be apprehended. The police even gets a warrant to proceed with this. However, the police as well as the courts are avoiding this matter. What were the steps taken by the present government to bring such perpetrators back to Sri Lanka? Their ability to do so is a different matter. But were the steps initiated by the present government?
Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa commented on the implementation of law.
The same theory is applied by the government in Arjuna Mahendran's and Madhusha's cases. No red warrants were issued on both of them. There are no B reports. There is no intervention from the courts. But for the other political grudges, they even go abroad in search of bank accounts and for investigations. How many times did the officials of this government conduct investigations in Dubai in search of the 18 billion account belonging to Namal Rajapaksa? These officials who went to Dubai in search of a missing account didn't bother to go there to arrest Markandre Madhush. They didn't even go there to arrest Arjuna Mahendran.
News from the President's Diary this evening. The steering committee meeting of the Grama Shakti People's Movement was held in the Vilimbula Henigama area this morning. The meeting was chaired by President Maithripala Sirisena.
450 million rupees has been allocated to implement the Grama Shakti People's Movement within the Western Province in 2019. Discussions were also held about the proposed solution to the issues when implementing the People's Movement. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, Minister John Amaratunga, Governor of the Western Province Azad Sali and Chief Minister Isurudeva Priya attended the meeting.
අපි අද සිට සතියක්
We have declared a Grama Shakti National Week starting from today. We have allocated a week so all sectors can pay attention to it. In every phase of the movement, we will focus on the Grama Seva divisions with higher levels of poverty. This will be determined based on the reports compiled by the Department of Census and Statistics, leaving aside the opinions of the opposition and the ruling party. I believe that we will receive your support when implementing this program. The district secretaries suggested the operation of the main rural development projects follow one agenda. I think it is a good idea.
එක වැඩපිළිවෙලක් යනවා නම් හොඳයි කියලා ඒක ඉතාමත් වැදගත් අදහසක්.
Meanwhile, the Western Province's Grama Shakti village movement was launched in the Wal Aramba production village in Dompe, Gampaha. The president also donated livelihood equipment worth 185 million rupees for them.
In some sad news this evening, now a three-wheel driver was killed in a motor accident that took place this morning in the Katugastara junction.
The three-wheeler, which was travelling towards Kandy from Katugastota, collided with an SUV travelling in the opposite direction. The driver of the three-wheeler was seen sitting on the pavement, visibly dazed. According to the timestamp on the CCTV footage, it takes over 10 minutes for the patient to be taken to the hospital following the incident. The accident victim is then seen being taken to the hospital in the same SUV that was involved in the accident. Though the Katugastara hospital is located about 500 meters away from the location that the accident took place, it has been revealed that the patient had been taken to the Kandy hospital. Director General of the Kandy hospital, Dr. Saman Ratnayaka, stated that the driver of the three-wheeler had succumbed to his injuries on the way to the hospital. The post-mortem had revealed that the death has taken place as a result of a cut wound on the neck. Health authorities point out the importance of taking an accident victim to a hospital as soon as possible. The most important time is the first 10 minutes. That is identified as a platinum time. The reason behind this is the fact that since there is no blood flow and oxygen, the cells in the brain start to die. After 12 minutes, the complete brain can be affected. If there is a person who is bleeding heavily, you must put pressure on the wound. If not, the life of the person can be at risk. You can use a handkerchief that you carry, or your tie, or the belt that you wear, wrap the wound and hold it high and bring the patient to the hospital.
වෙලල එම කොටස ඉහළට ඔසවාගෙන පැමිණෙන්න.
During the incident that took place in Katugastota, the patient had passed away as a result of the bleeding since he was not taken to the hospital on time. When an accident takes place, the traffic police in that police station should arrive there. They have been informed of the steps that should be taken. If the ambulance in the police division can be used, it should be used. If that is not available, you can call 1990 and call the closest ambulance and take the patient to the hospital. The disease was identified as a 42-year-old Ranjit Sampath, a resident of Guhagoda. I usually travel with my father when I go to work. I did not go with him today. He said that he has a hire to be picked up and he left early. The SUV that was involved in the accident has been brought to the Katugastara police and the driver has been arrested. Police said that he has been remanded until the 26th of this month. The remains of the deceased three-wheeler driver has been handed over to his relatives.
In more road traffic related news, now the bus driver involved in the accident that took place in the Mahavava area early this morning has been arrested and is currently hospitalized.
The vehicle involved in the accident in Mahavava in Chilau was a private bus travelling from Vavunia to Colombo. The bus had sped off the road and crashed into a transformer, resulting in great difficulty for authorities to retrieve the injured as well as the remains of the three deceased from the wreckage. While 30 people had travelled in the bus at the time of the accident, 19 have been hospitalised. I am currently on the Chilau-Colombo main road. An accident occurred here at around 4:35 this morning. A private bus travelling from Vavuniya to Colombo had collided with a transformer.
I was in a tipper in this corner. There was a truck there that they tried to overtake. When they tried to overtake it, I was cornered, so I turned towards the light post. Then the tipper was hit by the bus and I was thrown.
The bus came in at about 80 kilometers per hour and so had no time to brake. It stopped right on top of the transformer. Then the electricity was gone and we had to search using torches. Some of the injured had their legs separated from their bodies. There was one man stuck in a seat who was still alive, but because of the weight of the transformer, we could not save him. The others survived because the transformer exploded and the electricity was gone. If not, all of them would have died too. The deceased included a 42-year-old resident from Madurankulye in Magala Elia and a 40-year-old from Gangewaliya in Putlam and one other. The bus driver and 3 other injured women were admitted to the Maravilla base hospital. The bus came at speed and hit the truck and bounced onto the bridge. I saw a fire. That's all I remember. Our reports indicate that 3 of the injured admitted to the Maravilla base hospital have now been transferred to the National Hospital. The police state that they have found that the accident was the result of the driver not being able to control his speed, further adding that he has been arrested for his part in the accident. The accident resulted in a loss of electricity to Mahababa and nearby areas for nearly 12 hours. When a passenger vehicle travels through an urban area, it must travel below 50 km per hour. This is 60 when it travels through outstation areas. If a bus does not comply with this, it is a mistake in the face of the law. The drivers must remember, especially in the night time, they may be sleepy or tired and this could impact their driving. In such a situation, they must take rest. If not, these bus owners must take steps to hire 2 or more bus drivers, particularly for these long-haul journeys. In most cases, you cannot measure the value of one's life monetarily.
The Criminal Investigations Department arrested an inspector of police who was involved with the abduction of 2 businessmen from Ratkama Galle.
Based on the evidence gathered by the investigations, the Inspector of the Southern Province Special Investigations Unit, Kapila Nishanta De Silva, was arrested by the Criminal Investigations Department this evening. He was arrested due to allegations of abducting these 2 businessmen. Right now, he is in the custody of the CID. The CID will conduct further investigations into this incident. This officer will be brought before the Galle Magistrates Court tomorrow. It has been 26 days since the 2 businessmen Manjula Asela and Rasheen Chintaka disappeared. They were abducted from the house of Manjula Asela. The relatives of the missing individuals repeatedly claim that a group attired in a uniform similar to the police uniform carrying firearms escorted the 2 individuals out of their home. An anonymous letter that was discovered in the house of the missing individual a week ago stated that the 2 individuals were abducted by a special unit attached to the office of the senior DIG of the Southern Province. The letter further stated that one of the abductees had been badly assaulted, leading to his death, and the other victim was killed as he was a witness to this incident. The van that was suspected of being used to commit the abduction was discovered by the CID in Gonamulla, Udagama. When we visited Galle today and inquired into the incident, we found out that a van and a motor car was used in the abduction of these 2 individuals. There are several access roads to Ratkama. A CCTV camera fixed on one access road captured the van entering Ratkama, but it does not capture it using the same route to leave. The van described in the anonymous letter bears resemblance to the van captured on the CCTV footage. Passanura, who is another businessman in the same area, is suspected to be the owner of this van.
වෑන් එක කොහොමද මේකට සිද්ධියට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ? උත්තර දෙන්න විදියක් නැහැ. දන්නේ නැහැ මොනවද කවුරු කරාද මොකක් කරාද මේ කොහොමද? අපි දැන් මේ වෙනකොට ඇංගිලි නෙච්චර අපිට කියන්න තියෙන්නේ. අපි මිනිස්සුන්ට එන්නේ නැහැ මේ. දැක්චර මට වෙච්ච මේ එක. මම දැන් මේ වෙනකොට මිනිස්සු ළඟට ඉස්සරහට ආවම කවුද කින්දමන්ද? තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Meanwhile, CCTV footage has also been discovered of an individual named Chutte loitering around the house of the abducted individuals on the very same morning they were abducted. Chutte is said to have close ties with the police. At that time, a police officer dressed in civilian attire had stopped in front of the house and he was on a phone call. At the same time, one of my other relatives came to the same place. I told him that Rashi and Manju were taken to the police and I did not know why. The police officer who was on a phone call asked me if they took the both of them and he went. Although the Galle Assistant Superintendent of Police Satis Gamage made a statement saying that the two individuals were arrested on the 5th of this month, it was revealed on the 14th that such an incident did not happen.
He told us to give him 1 week's time. He said he will give us an answer within 1 week. I asked him what if they are killed within this week. He said no, he will take responsibility for their lives. When we went on the 3rd, he asked us not to worry and that both of them are there. Yes, we went again on the 5th. They said that they were tired of both of them and said that they will be handing over the two of them together with their files to the CID in 3 days' time. That's what he said. He did not tell us where they are. I also went there. Then the OIC told us that the letter was most probably sent by a person who had a grudge against us to scare us.
Senior DIG of Southern Province Ravi Vijay Gunawardena was transferred to Colombo recently. Investigations into the incident have now been handed over to the Criminal Investigations Department.
Well, shifting to some news overseas, Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman kicked off his tour of South Asia and China with a high-profile visit to Pakistan yesterday. But the trip risks being overshadowed by escalating tensions between nuclear-armed rivals India and Pakistan.
Cash-strapped and in need of friends, Pakistan welcomed the Crown Prince with open arms for a visit during which he is expected to sign investment agreements for $10 billion refinery and a petrochemicals complex in the coastal city of Gwadar, where China is building a port. The Saudi investment deals came at a key time when Pakistan struggles with a faltering economy, a looming balance of payments crisis and waning domestic growth. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman will be conferred with Pakistan's highest civilian honor a day after signing $20 billion in investment deals with the South Asian country. Following the talks, Pakistani Prime Minister Khan requested Prince Salman to personally intervene to aid 2.5 million Pakistanis residing in the Gulf Kingdom with any hardships they may have. Khan also asked for more than 3,000 Pakistani prisoners currently imprisoned in Saudi Arabia to be released. Subsequently, the Pakistani Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry announced today that the Crown Prince had ordered the immediate release of 2,107 Pakistani prisoners from Saudi jails. He had also planned to visit Indonesia and Malaysia during the tour, but those trips have been postponed, according to Malaysian and Indonesian officials. No reasons were given for the postponements or alternative dates for the tour. The Crown Prince will, however, visit India.
And which he is doing as a matter.
While Crown Prince MBS is in South Asia, an aircraft that belongs to Qatar with a high-level delegation arrived in Sri Lanka yesterday. According to sources, 4 aircraft had arrived in the country in line with the arrival. The Qatar-Saudi Arabia diplomatic conflict, sometimes referred to as the Second Arab Cold War, is the ongoing struggle for regional influence between the Gulf Cooperation Council monarchies of Qatar and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Qatar-Saudi Arabia relations have been especially strained since the beginning of the Arab Spring. That left a power vacuum both states sought to fill, with Qatar being supportive of the revolutionary wave and Saudi Arabia opposing it. Both states are allies of the United States and have avoided direct conflict with one another. However, Qatar maintains the conflict is an attempt for Saudi Arabia to reassert the hegemony over Qatar it enjoyed during the 20th century.
Well, back to news here at home. Now, a photograph of the late President's Counsel Hemantha Varnakula Surya was revealed at the Magistrates Court premises in Halfstorf, Colombo.
A library for trainee law graduates was built in the Halstorf Magistrates Court premises in 2007, an initiative headed by the late President's Counsel Hemantha Varnakula Surya. A photograph of the late President's Counsel Hemantha Varnakula Surya was unveiled at this library today. Books were also gifted to the library in line with the event, which was attended by judges, lawyers and the family members of the late Hemantha Varanakula Surya.
Hemantha Varanakula Surya's library and research centre was reopened today. His expectation was to see educated trainee lawyers utilize the resources available in this library. This was my father's dream and today it has been realized. Memories of my father will remain with us always. My father is a strong believer of education. His belief was that education completes a man. His dream and his belief was realized today.
A writ petition was filed at the Supreme Court today requesting to issue a mandamus to the Elections Commission to hold the elections of the Provincial Council which have completed their respective tenures. Now, 9 members of the Satyagaveshakayo movement filed the petition through Attorney at Law Premanath Dolavatta.
The petitioners request the Supreme Court to issue an order to hold the elections of the Sabaragamuwa, North Central, Eastern, Central and North Western Provincial Councils to appoint representatives for the respective councils. The chairman of the Elections Commission and its members were named as the respondents. The petitioners charge that the government is attempting to postpone the election citing delimitation issues and hence the voting right of the general public is violated. The report of the committee appointed by the Prime Minister, which was to be presented after the delimitation report was rejected, is yet to be presented to the President. According to the Article 6, subsection 2 of the Interpretation Ordinance, whenever any written law repeals in whole or a part a former written law and substitutes, therefore some new provision, such repeal shall not take effect until such substituted provision comes into operation. It was based on that we requested the Elections Commission to hold the elections. We are confused as to based on what law they are planning to hold the elections. So we request the Supreme Court to issue a mandamus writ petition.
The Al Akbar College in Ambalanthoda was presented with a bus worth 3.8 million rupees today. The event was held under the patronage of Minister of Housing, Construction and Cultural Affairs and the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajid Premadasa.
This was the 16th bus that was donated to the schools in the Hambantota district by Minister Sajid Premadasa. We are a government that follows patterns of democracy and development. There were few instances where we deviated from such patterns. Whenever we follow wrong politics, the public had never missed to highlight them. If we are to serve the public and if we are to take care of the poor, we need money. Capitalism is the best way to create wealth. You must not misunderstand or misinterpret this fact. We do not accept extreme far-right policies and we do not bow down to such policies either. However, the free trade economy is vital to create wealth.
Mahapalu Gaswava of the Mahava Divisional Secretariat in the Kurunegala district is ridden with aquatic plants. Now, villagers observe that if this situation prevails, there's a possibility that the Vava could face destruction.
The Mahapalu Gaswava spans over 22 acres. Villagers say that during the Yala and the Maha seasons, this tank provides water for over 30 paddy fields. The villages of Makaduwava, Ihelakunwava, Tumbullegama, Hitokadavala, Morogola and Madiava fulfill their daily water supply through the Mahapalu Gaswava. More than 3,000 people utilize rainwater and this tank is the only method of collecting the rainwater. But this tank has not been renovated in 60 years. Apart from farming, the villagers also utilize the water from this tank for other agri-purposes. Now the water in the tank is infected with moss, salvinia, vilkatu and grass. Only 5 acres of the water body remains unaffected.
It has been 5 or 6 years since this weather has been closed. I am about 60 years old. As far as I know, this weather has not been renovated. This is a huge burden to everyone in this village.
The criminal court in Maldives has ordered former Maldivian President Abdullah Yameen to be kept in detention for the remainder of his trial.
Yameen was summoned to court this afternoon over money laundering charges raised against him in relation to the Maldives Marketing and PR Corporation embezzlement case. The Prosecutor General raised money laundering charges last week after the police completed its investigations and forwarded the case on the 6th of February. Today's hearing was held after the Prosecutor General asked the criminal court to remand the former president until his trial concludes. At the hearing, the state prosecutor Aisat Mohammed said that Yameen had attempted to bribe witnesses in order to make them change their testimonies to authorities. He is to be kept in Dunidu Detention Center. The charge carries a sentence of 15 years and a fine amounting to 3 times the sum involved. The police service is also seeking to charge him with giving false testimonies to the Anti-Corruption Commission during its investigation.
Sports First Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
I am an Olympic athlete. It is the dream of every sportsman or woman to compete at the Olympics. Winning the Platinum Award is a similar challenge. I wish everyone.
Sports First Allianz Platinum Awards 2018.
Well, with that, we bring to close this edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for stopping by. For the latest and more trending news, simply log on to our award-winning website. That is www.newsfirst.lk. For the news team, I'm Joel Outspoon. Have yourself a great evening. Take care. Good night.